Step outside tonight and look up. Whatever you see, those scattered stars, that hazy orange glow on the horizon, that grayish sky that never quite turns black, remember it. Because somewhere on Earth right now, a child is being born who will live their entire life without ever seeing what you see. And somewhere else, an old person is dying, who saw something you will probably never see in your lifetime. A sky so dark that the Milky Way cast a shadow on the ground. A night so deep that you couldn't see your own hand 6 inches from your face. A darkness so total that your eyes could detect the glow of a single candle from over a mile away. For 300,000 years, every human who ever lived experienced this kind of darkness almost every single night. And in less than 150 years, we erased it. You are alive at the exact moment in human history when true darkness is disappearing forever. And almost nobody is talking about it. To understand what we lost, you have to understand what your eyes were actually built to do. Inside your retina right now, there are roughly 120 million rod cells. These cells are not designed for the world you live in. They evolved for one specific purpose: to see in conditions so dark that modern humans almost never experience them. When you walk into a dark room, your cones, the cells that handle daylight vision, adjust in about 5 minutes. But your rods, the ancient ones, the ones built for true night, take 30 to 45 minutes to fully activate. And when they finally do, something extraordinary happens. Your eyes become approximately 100 million times more sensitive to light than they are in daylight. You can detect a single photon. You can see shapes by starlight alone. You can navigate a forest at night using only the faint glow of the night sky. Your ancestors did this every single night of their lives. But here's the cruel part. Most of you reading this have never once in your entire life let your rods fully wake up. Because the world you live in never gets dark enough for them to bother trying. In 2016, a team of Italian and American scientists led by Falchi published a study in the journal Science Advances that quietly changed how we should think about the night sky. They measured artificial light pollution across the entire planet using satellite data and over 35,000 ground observations. The findings were brutal. More than 80% of the world's population now lives under light-polluted skies. 1/3 of humanity can no longer see the Milky Way at all. In the United States, that number rises to 80%. In Western Europe, around 60%. In Singapore, the entire population lives under what the researchers called eternal twilight, a sky so bright that human eyes literally cannot enter scotopic vision. Not a single resident of Singapore experiences true night. Not the children, not the grandparents, nobody. And this is happening everywhere. The world is getting brighter at a rate of about 2% per year, faster in some regions. By the time today's newborns are old enough to drive, the few remaining dark sky reserves on the planet may be gone. And here's the part that gets uncomfortable. Most people who can no longer see the stars don't even know they're missing. But the loss isn't just visual. It's biological. It's older than humans by hundreds of millions of years. Every organism on Earth, from bacteria to blue whales, evolved under a single consistent rhythm. Sunlight during the day, real darkness at night. That cycle is so fundamental that your genes, every single cell in your body, time their operations to it. Your liver detoxifies on a schedule keyed to darkness. Your immune system runs maintenance cycles based on it. Your brain consolidates memories during a specific window of real night that most modern humans never experience. The hormone melatonin, the one your body uses to tell every cell that it's time to repair and rebuild, is only produced when your eyes detect deep darkness. And when I say deep darkness, I mean the kind your great-grandparents knew. Not your bedroom with the streetlight leaking through the blinds. Not the airport runway glow 70 miles away that lights up your horizon. Real darkness. The kind that makes most people uncomfortable when they finally experience it for the first time as adults. In 2020, researchers at Stanford ran an experiment that should have made global news. They tracked the melatonin cycles of subjects in 3 conditions. A typical modern bedroom, a dark hotel room with blackout curtains, and a tent in a wilderness area with no artificial light within 50 miles. The results were almost incomprehensible. The subjects in the modern bedroom were producing melatonin at roughly 50% of their biological potential. The hotel room subjects performed a little better, but the subjects exposed to true wilderness darkness produced melatonin levels nearly 4 times higher than the bedroom group within just 1 week. Their bodies, after a lifetime of mild light pollution, were finally doing what they were built to do, and the participants reported something else. They said the darkness felt different from anything they'd experienced. Not scary, not empty. Something more like recognition. Like a part of them they didn't know existed had just woken up. That's what your biology is trying to tell you every night and almost never gets to say. Most of us will go to our graves never having heard it. So how did we get here so fast? The story is shorter than you'd think. In 1879, Thomas Edison commercialized the electric light bulb. By 1900, major American cities had begun installing electric streetlights. By 1930, most of the developed world had electrified its public spaces. By 1960, the first satellite photographs of Earth at night were taken, and you could already see the outlines of continents traced in artificial light. By 2016, those images had become so bright that astronauts on the International Space Station reported losing their night vision when looking down at certain cities. In other words, the city lights below were brighter than the stars above. In the span of about 5 generations, humans took something that had existed unchanged for the entire history of life on this planet and replaced it with a permanent artificial dusk. There's no precedent for this. There's no other change in Earth's history where one species altered the planet's most fundamental environmental cycle this completely, this quickly, and with this little awareness of what they were doing. But here's what makes this moment in history so strange. You are alive during the last possible window, when this story can still be told by people who remember the before. Your grandparents, if they were born in a rural area before about 1950, almost certainly saw skies you will never see. Ask them. Ask them what the Milky Way looked like from their childhood backyard. Ask them if they remember when the stars seemed to have texture. Ask them about thunderstorms in the dark with no city glow on the horizon. Their answers are vanishing data points. When that generation dies, the human memory of true darkness dies with them. Their grandchildren, the children being born right now, will inherit a planet where authentic night exists only in remote nature, preserves accessible to a wealthy few. Stargazing will become a tourist activity, the way visiting old-growth forests already is. Children will read about the Milky Way in textbooks the way we read about passenger pigeons. Something that used to fill the sky and was somehow lost. And the worst part isn't that we lost it. The worst part is how unceremonial the loss is. There was no announcement, no funeral, no global conversation. We just kept building lights, and the sky kept getting brighter. And one day, there were no more stars, and almost no one noticed because almost no one was looking up anymore. But here's the question that should haunt anyone who hears this. What does it cost a species to lose the night? For 300,000 years, darkness was where humans dreamed, where they invented myths, where they buried their dead, where they imagined what was beyond the visible world. Every religion on Earth was born under a starry sky. Every philosophy, every story about gods and meaning and fate came out of human beings sitting in darkness and looking up and feeling small in a way that turned out to be the most important feeling our species ever had. That feeling, the one our ancestors knew intimately, of being a tiny conscious creature on a small dark planet under an ocean of stars, has shaped everything we are. And for the first time in human history, an entire generation is growing up without it. We don't know yet what that does to a person. We don't know what it does to a civilization. We're running the experiment in real time, and there's no control group. There's no way back. So the next time you go somewhere remote and the sky opens up the way your ancestors saw it every single night, stop. Really stop. Stand there long enough for your rod cells to wake up. Stay long enough that your eyes detect the texture of the galaxy. And remember that you are doing something that may never be possible for the children born after you. You are seeing what made us human. You are the last generation that still can. And most of the people who watch this video will close their phone and look up tonight and see almost nothing. And then they'll go inside, and the world will get a little brighter, and a little brighter, and will keep going. And the darkness will keep retreating, until one day, there's nowhere left to find it. If this changed how you think about the sky, hit the like button. It actually matters more than you'd think for getting this in front of people who still might experience real darkness someday. Drop a comment and tell me, when was the last time you saw a sky full of stars? And where were you? I read every reply, and some of the answers are going to break your heart. And subscribe if you want to keep hearing about the things that are quietly disappearing from your life that nobody else is willing to tell you about. There's something coming next that you're going to want to be here for.